return on investment, or ROI for Toastmasters, depends on how much time and effort each member invests in the club. And by club, we mean each other. Having a membership base of 20 ensures we have a richly diverse experience at weekly meetings, yielding a wonderfully positive ROI. Toastmaster Club officers are entrusted to keep membership levels above 20 members, essentially acting as investment managers for the fellow Toastmasters. So please help me welcome Aaron Kelton as he unveils his investment strategies.
First, let me say you did a good job. Why? If you were here last week, you might know that it was 6 or 7 members and no guests. And look at us now. 11 members, the room's almost filled up. I don't see many empty chairs unless they're on the perimeter. And we've got 2 guests. So you did a good job. If you look on your agenda, the great thing about our website is you can pick which manual you're speaking from. But mine says Other. And that's because this is from one of the canned speeches from Toastmasters International. I didn't create this document. It was created by Toastmasters International, but I've adopted it for my own sake. And it's about finding new members. And I thought it would be good because we currently have 19 listed active members, but if we only had 6 or 7 last week, 11 now, where's the other 8, right? You've seen guests come and go, but we haven't had a new member since, I think Shreyas was our last one to join. And when did you join last, Shreyas? October? October, yeah. So we've got to grow. So because member attrition is a natural thing. You might remember Will Atkins had to move recently to Washington, D.C. because he's in the military. And it just happens. You know, people get busy. I think Megan Rugg, she's an accountant, so she's busy doing tax stuff, and so she won't be here until maybe March. So it's a natural thing, but in order to get a rich, diverse experience, it's important that we recruit the members and keep them up, and keep the membership numbers up. And so the Successful Club series, this is just one speech within that series. And the purpose is to convey the importance of building membership. It also lists methods for finding new members. Okay? You don't have to just cold call. There are other methods which are proven and effective. And then it also tells us how to treat guests when they visit the club. And I'm going to go through some personal examples of what has gotten some current members now to join because of the actions of Toastmasters at the time when those guests visited the club. Another thing that's great about the Successful Club series is that you may know there's an educational track, communication and leadership. You start out with your CC, Confident Communicator, and the CL, the Confident Leader. But on the track that goes eventually to Distinguished Toastmaster, DTM, the 2 before that in the communication is Advanced Communicator Silver. And completing 2 speeches from the Successful Club series counts toward that. So even though I haven't even got the Advanced Communicator Bronze, which I'm working toward for one of my advanced manuals, the Entertaining Speaker, I can still present this and get credit for it toward the Advanced Communicator Silver. So that's something to keep in mind is there's not necessarily one bottleneck. There are many different paths within just the communication path to accomplish your goals. So now getting into the meat and potatoes, I like to say, one of my favorite expressions. Remember what Alan said in the introduction about return on investment. I'm going to give you a simple little equation, all right? If you're not so good at math, don't worry. It's simple. You have ROI, okay, that equals gain minus cost over the cost, okay? So what do you put in to Toastmasters membership, okay? If you're really hurting for money like I am and it costs you about $90 a year, well, it's still cheaper than a public speaking course at a university or a one-day seminar with some big name speaker coming to town and talking about speaking. So the cost, I think, is negligible. And if you work for a good employer with benefits, Another benefit you might get is having them reimburse your club dues, because it's a wonderful thing to become a better communicator and leader and apply those skills to your organization. Okay, so the cost is negligible, but this difference right here in what's called the numerator, you might remember, okay? It's the gain minus the cost. So let's just say that this is 0. In Toastmasters, the return on investment is all about gain. I've never gotten anything bad out of Toastmasters. It's all good, and that's why I keep coming back every week. That's why I sign up for, I try to pursue bigger roles, such as being a club officer and even being a district officer, because what I get out of it, it doesn't cost me a penny. Okay? But think about what you put into this club, all right? Making the fund 0. You put in time. Right now you're putting in 1 hour out of the 168 hours a week. But you also prepare for your role. Wilma prepared words of the day. You did a good job, because that's unique. You made this meeting fun and interesting, and I'm likely to come back if I was a guest. Okay, so you put in time other than this 1 hour. I put in time, other Toastmasters have put in time preparing these sorts of materials, and the other roles, you put in time to prepare and provide the best mutually supportive environment for your fellow Toastmasters. Okay? That's why return on investment, that's why I use it as the introduction, because it is, you apply it in business, you can apply it in Toastmasters, it's a sound principle. Okay? So finding new members. If we're going to go from 11 to 20 active present members, from our current 19 active members, minus this 8 that aren't here right now, how are we going to do that? Toastmasters says, new members are important to the success of every Toastmasters club. New members mean better meeting programs, new ideas, a large pool of potential leaders. For example, Will Atkins, he was a club officer. He had to move young blood to fill his shoes. Okay. More fun. Wilma's a case in point with her unique example. And more funds for the club. You might know that we have, I believe it's $18 a year, $9 for local club dues. That's so we can do cool things like pay for a big banquet. Right? We can use some of those funds like we did during the Christmas break. Okay? And so more funds can be available for the club. It says, but a host of activities and responsibilities compete for people's time and attention. Priorities and interests change often, and members leave the club. Without enough members, clubs can't provide a positive, enjoyable, supportive environment. I would say it's mutually supportive. I like to pound on that quite a lot, which is the hallmark of the Toastmasters learning program. So I'm going to go through some ways that we can recruit new members, and then I want to get your feedback. Some of these, like one I've crossed out because I'm not really familiar with it. There could be some things that you might think of. One thing my boss always says, the guy that hired me, he says, everybody sells. It doesn't matter what role you're in at work, everybody sells. And so it applies to us here when building membership. It's a sales role. So every member is responsible for contributing to the success of the club. Nobody's getting paid to be here, are they? It's all volunteer, right? Okay, just want to make sure, otherwise I'd be joining your club. Okay, so every member is responsible for contributing to the success of the club and the success of fellow members. Ensuring the club has enough members to properly conduct meetings is part of that responsibility. So some of the things we can do is talk to friends, relatives, and co-workers. Shreyas, would you have ever joined this club if you weren't my friend, we didn't hang out, if you weren't my roommate?
Probably not.
Maybe not. Okay, so case in point, get yourself a roommate. Bring them to Toastmasters. Extra income, all right, for that extra room in your house. And you build a good environment. So, no, but really, there's an example of friends. Another one is, my girlfriend had an interview last fall. And while the people really liked her, they said on the returning interview, they said, can you give that same presentation to us that you gave last time, except this time, cut out all your owns. There are way too many owns. These people weren't even Toastmasters. It was just very distracting. And so now, she's not going to join this one. She said, this is my deal. But she is going to join another Toastmasters club. And so it's applicable. So there's another person that I'm trying to push toward being in Toastmasters. And I've yet to recruit any coworkers, but if you can think of any coworkers that should come, invite them along. The person I think that has been most active, and you'll probably agree with me, has been Hermione. I think there's been at least 5 different individuals, maybe 6 or 7, that she's brought over the past 3 or 4 months and tried to expose them to the benefits of this club. Okay, so friends, relatives, coworkers. Wear a Toastmasters membership pin every day. I forget whenever we ordered the packs of material, and I believe it was Roger did this last spring, about a year ago, where he said, would you wear a pin, like on your sports coat, if we gave you one? And so maybe we can do that again, Roger, and order some more pins. I know, even if I'm not at a Toastmasters function, when I wear a sports coat, it looks so bland without that pin there, right? I don't want to look like a 5-star general in the Army, just decorated, but I like one single gold pin that says Toastmasters International, because people ask me, what's that all about? And I say, oh, it's about Toastmasters. Let me tell you about it. Okay? It's a great way to introduce the club. Another thing is display the Toastmasters magazine. Okay? Have you seen this new one yet? What I do is I usually leave one on my desk at work, so people come to my office, they can see it, and I'll talk to them about it. Another thing is the lounge at the front of my workplace. There's all these engineering, oil and gas magazines, and I'll put Toastmasters right on top. Some of that other stuff, it's outdated anyways. Okay, this stuff is timeless. Okay, but it's not enough just to put it there. You can actually talk to people about the different articles that are in there. If you want a business slang, leading with a smile, a positive attitude and enthusiasm make for better business. There was one here at the very back I sent my girlfriend because it says, I agree with you, dear. How happy couples communicate, parentheses, yes, there is such a thing. Okay. I said, hey, we're already doing this, all right? We're a happy couple, and there's other people out there who are doing this as well. So the Toastmaster magazine is a great way to reach out to people who see it, they inquire, and that's also something that you pay for in those monumental fees, the Toastmaster magazine. So read it in addition to the new newsletter you might see circling around. Okay, another option for recruiting new members is creating a social networking site. It lists meetup.com or yelp.com. I'm not familiar with Yelp, and I know that Meetup costs money, right? However, I've had an idea for a consortium of Little Rock Toastmaster clubs, the 19 that are in Little Rock, to have one meetup group and then get more attention that way. That would be pretty cool, right? But some social networking sites that we have, in addition to our home site, lrtm.org, and toastmastersinternational.org. The important thing is to have up-to-date information. If people click a Contact Us link, they need to get a reply within 24 hours and not have a broken link or a broken website or an out-of-date website that looks like it's from the Space Jam 1994 with Michael Jordan website. I don't know if you remember that one, but it was a case in point. The textbook I read once about website design. Okay, so social networking sites is also a big deal. Todd Piazza, an individual who joined us last fall, found us on LinkedIn. He's the one and only person that joined through LinkedIn. And I think Nisha was pretty responsible for bringing him to the club because she was always replying. She was quick on the social media, getting back to Todd Piazza. So that was very good. Other things we have is we've developed Twitter and put it on our homepage. Thanks to Shreyas again, helping me design that. And also Facebook. People like Facebook. That's where everybody's at online, and they see it on their newsfeed. Okay, so we've done that, and we get a lot of traffic from our website. That's how a lot of people join us. They send us Nisha joined that way. She sent us a message on our Contact Us link, and we got back in touch, and here she is, a club officer today. Okay. Now, those are the ideas that they list here, and that's even before they come and we can call up guests. What are some other ways we can recruit new members? Does anybody want to throw out some ideas? Maybe you have sales experience.
Have a contest.
Have a contest? A membership drive?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What would that consist of, Sandra?
Well, we usually have 2 teams,
Mm-hmm.
and we try to bring guests. We get points for bringing guests, points for people to join. we just kind of come up with a way of inviting people to Toastmasters, and maybe the winning team gets a potluck from the others, or the others have to pay for a pizza or something. But it encourages to bring other people.
The other one has to give foot massages to the other.
That'd be pretty good. Shoulder massages.
That's one idea. Okay, membership contest. That's right, we did one last year, and the winners got Toastmaster coffee mugs. I like that. I drink coffee every day at work, so I use it. Any other ideas?
Over lunches and workplace, we were thinking about this in a school. Maybe we can invite like 2 Toastmasters to come and talk about it. Over lunch, like just get your group together, team together.
Like a lunch and learn?
Yes.
And promote it that way, huh?
Yeah, maybe it's a workplace you can improve.
Okay, write down that. Lunch and learn. Okay. So those are 2 extra ways in addition to what Toastmasters has already suggested. Now, whenever guests get here, what do we do? So it says, when an individual does visit a club, the treatment they receive from a current member during their visit is a strong factor in the decision whether they join the club or not. Okay? For example, when they come in from the back door, you know, get out of your skin, get uncomfortable, go say hi, shake their hand before the meeting and after. Roger, during our regular meetings, typically sits at one location consistently. So something he could do, if he didn't want to go sit by somebody and lose his location, his sweet spot, is he could say, hey, why don't you come sit with me? You know, I'm over here. And that makes them feel more comfortable, more at ease. Okay. And then another thing I think of is just how friendly we are afterwards. We have like maybe 5-10 minutes of socializing after the meeting. Remember Karthik Devarajan? Remember him? If you've been a member here for a while, he moved to Maryland, and he said it was just awful. People are in their own cliques, and he's just sitting there. Nobody, he's a guest, and nobody's like, hey, who are you? You know, do you have any questions about Toastmasters? He said, it's unreal. He said, the Rock Toastmasters set the standard for him. Okay. And finally is remember people's names. I remember Paul Hodge told me that he joined because I remembered his name. The second time he visited, I said, how's it going, Paul? You know, boom. That's it. That's all you got to do. Remember somebody's name. Okay. And you can apply these to Toastmasters recruiting, right? If you don't want the same evaluator every time judging your speech, you want to get some different, varied feedback, bring your own guest here to do that. Okay, we make this club what it is. So in closing, I see I'm out of time, which is good because I'm right smack dab on the conclusion. It says Toastmasters is a very personal organization and that people are brought into the club on a personal basis. The club's membership will grow only as each member becomes personally involved. And one enthusiastic person can bring more members into a club than all the other tools devised by a membership committee. For example, Vermont, bringing in a slew of individuals. Yes. So always keep the club's membership efforts personal, helpful, and friendly. And lastly, remember this. I've got to leave you with some action. All right? Before the meeting, you go by, you get uncomfortable, and you shake Musa Mashonda's hand. Thank you very much.